I've always come here and say we're close, we're, one play away. But this year, we're just not a good defense. I mean, that's the only thing I can say right now until we prove it otherwise.
I tweeted out the numbers earlier, too, and we've said it throughout the show. But it's really amazing when you look at the numbers and you see where they were last year as compared to this year. I'll say it again. Last year, the defense was ranked third in yards allowed. They allowed 305 yards per game. This year, they're 29th, averaging 374 yards per game. So they're giving up 70 more yards per game. And then in points last year, they finished 7th at 20.2 points per game. This year, they're 31st at 28.5. That is more than 8 points a game more allowed.
Those are unacceptable numbers for a team that has spent as much and has re-signed as many guys as they have and poured a lot of money into
And Jonathan
defense.
said it. He goes, we're just not good right now.
Right.
We're not a good
He's
defense.
right. He's being honest.
Everyone knows it. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. The question is, why? And can it get better? Those are the two big questions right now. Why and can it get better? And everyone's blaming Del Rio, but, I've been saying this for weeks. You got to look at the guys on the field, too.
I'm not sure why, and I don't think with 9 games left it's going to get that much better.
Probably not.
I'm going to say the players are underperforming. So,
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So if that's the case, the coaches have to get them to perform at a certain level. So if the players are underperforming, that means they have talent, right? So I got to blame the coaches. I mean, the players are responsible for their own actions, but the coaches have to get the maximum out of them. If the coaching staff is not getting the maximum out of their players, I know the professionals, whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody needs coaching in life. If the coaches aren't getting the maximum out of the players, I think you got to look at the coaches. If the players just stink because they're just not good players, I think there are a couple of guys you could point to and maybe say that at this level. But I think for the most part, these guys have talent, and they're just not being coached up well enough.
They haven't even played a murderer's row of quarterbacks.
Blame the coaches,
they haven't played a murderer's row of quarterbacks. When you look at it, played Josh Dobbs week 1. Next week, Russell Wilson, who, he's not the Russell Wilson of 5 years ago.
But he had a great game in that game.
He did. Well, of course, he's facing this defense. Okay, Josh Allen, elite.
Stud.
Jalen Hurts, twice elite.
Stud.
They fade Justin Fields, Desmond Ritter, Tyrod Taylor.
Fields was an
again,
freaking Hall of Famer.
Again, you get right against this defense. Exactly. You get right against this defense.
Doesn't look like that every other week.
No.
We'll see if Mac Jones all of a sudden, now Mac Jones had a decent game 2 weeks ago, but if Mac Jones has a good game, some further proof. But I don't even know if you need further proof, because after the first month when they weren't playing good, a lot of defenders of the Commanders defense went to, well, this is what happens with Jack Del Rio. And they pointed out justifiably that in the previous seasons, they would start off slow and get better.
Yeah.
But that was after 4 games. This time, it's gone 8 games.
Now, like Drabby pointed out earlier, a couple of those possessions that the Philly offense had was deep in the after the pick. They had the ball at the 7.
Right.
After the
sack.
After the pick.
Or what was the other one where they had the short field?
That was the 4th down.
That was the fourth down.
Fourth down play.
Yeah.
They were going to get the ball.
Okay, downs, strip sack, whatever you want to call it.
Washington recovered, but yeah, it was 4th down. Anyway. And then they scored on those. But they also had 2 fumbles inside the 1.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So they could have scored 2 more touchdowns there. So I could see why you'd blame the coaching staff and Del Rio in particular. Maybe the game plan just isn't suited to their strengths as players.
That's what I think.
Like having Forbes out there on Brown.
For some inexplicable reason, I heard somebody on one of the pregame shows say, Ron really likes David Mayo. He really likes what he does for his system. And this is not a shot at David Mayo.
Right.
I love underdogs.
He's a backup.
I love all those guys.
He's a backup.
But, maybe he shouldn't love David Mayo. Maybe
Well, who else are you going to go to?
I don't know.
Well, that also goes back to your personnel.
Yeah.
You selected
agreed.
David Mayo to be here, and if somebody gets injured, then he has an elevated role.
Yeah.
So you may love him, but you could have a better player.
He likes him in his system, apparently.
Okay,
then fix the system.
His system's not very good.
Exactly.
Because look at the numbers that you're giving up every freaking week.
That's my point.
Eric, this is my point, though. If you're going to blame the coaches, then that front 4 is one of the highest paid front 4s in football.
Yeah.
With a bunch of big names, all first-round picks. And, yeah, at times they look like they're the strength of the defense, but a lot of times they're not getting to the quarterback.
I agree.
They're not
You know what
stopping
I would
the
do?
run.
You know what coaching I would do? First of all, first thing
What are you going to do? You're going to replace them?
No, here's what I do. First thing I do with 99 is I say, I need full effort every play, whistle to whistle.
Well, how do you know they're not asking for that?
Well, that if you don't give it to me, then I'm playing 95. I'm
Okay,
playing
so you're going to
Okay,
replace
that's one
them.
thing. Well, I mean, I threaten at least. I mean, there's ways you motivate players. That's one thing I do.
Okay, but we don't know that they haven't.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing I do, well, he certainly hasn't
And
benched him.
maybe
he
other
certainly hasn't benched him.
No.
The other thing I would do is I would move guys around a little bit. Now, I don't know anything. Don't even listen to me, but just as elite players, if we allegedly have elite players, and I think these guys have elite traits, you move them around. You don't know where they're coming from. Sometimes John Allen's coming outside or Chase is coming from the inside. Whatever it is, you're doing the same. It's what we talked about last week. You do the same stuff every week, you expect different results. That's insanity, right?
Well,
Whatever that cliche
gotta
is.
mix it up.
To the credit, the offense changed. The enemy changed.
And now we saw results. Now, from my perspective, Bieniemy waited way too long. He should have done that 6 weeks ago consistently. In fact, I don't give a crap what New England throws at us. We need to max protect, move the pocket, quick throws, all that.
Same playbook.
Same playbook. I don't care what they do.
And they don't have to put up 31
here's what
to
New
beat the
England
Patriots.
does. They lose a lot. They've lost 4 of their last 5. The Commanders have lost 5 of their last 6. So it's 2 bad teams on a collision course in Foxborough.
You're definitely not going to
get.
get CBS or Fox's A team.
No, you're going to get like the 4th team on whatever network this game's
Right.
being
I'm not sure if it's a
broadcast on.
CBS because AFC or
Did you guys watch that Eagles game?
Which Eagles game?
the Eagles played the Commanders. Yes,
No.
we
Who
watched.
was I'm sorry. Maybe it was the Ravens game.
Yeah,
The Ravens game. And that was
Cardinals.
Ross Tucker, right?
Ross
Yeah.
Tucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Who
Ross.
was the guy doing the game with him?
Oh,
I think it was.
They were putting on
can't-
Halloween costumes.
I can't remember his
Charles,
name.
Was it Charles or Charlie something?
not sure.
I didn't even recognize it.
Ross. We love Ross. Ross was bad on the call.
Oh, you didn't like it?
He
Oh,
was.
no.
He was bad.
I didn't. I just thought it were goofy.
He was doing Isaiah Likely puns.
He
It was.
Definitely did an Isaiah Likely pun. I did
It
hear
was-
that.
It wasn't Ross's best effort.
Although I will say at the very end of the game, he correctly predicted after the first onside kick, and I thought he described that fine, that Nelson Aguilar didn't attack the ball and ended up being like a short hopping off. He said, if I'm the opponent, I'm going to kick it right back to him
Sure.
the next time. And they did, and
Yeah,
Aguilar
you go after
handled
the
it
weak
better.
link.
Chris Lewis.
By the way, Mac Jones on the year
Yeah,
has
Chris Lewis.
9 touchdowns and 8 picks.
Yeah.
He is the poster boy for mediocre NFL quarterback. Like, if you can't take advantage of him, you can't get in there and rattle his cage throughout the game and make him, commit some turnovers, then I just don't know if this team.
Well, as you
has-
said, they've got
it's
no
fixable.
weapons. They don't have A.J. Brown.
No,
they don't. Their top receiver, and if Kendrick Bourne's out,
Right.
their top receiver wouldn't
And he
make the
will be.
Commanders' top 3.
And he'll be out.
It's
They
looking
would
like he'll be
die
out.
for Jahan
Well, this is
Dotson
the
or Curtis
test.
Samuel.
Yeah.
This is the test for Washington to follow up a great offensive game. And then defensively, again, you don't have the threats that you do in Philly, so that there won't be those challenges down the sidelines like they are with with Smith and A.J. Brown. And you don't have to score 31 to beat them.
Yeah.
But let's see if the offense can get a little bit more consistent, maybe the same playbook, and you got to win this game. Have an easier time scoring points.
They need to make Mac Jones look like he looked against either Dallas, the Saints, or the Raiders, where he had QBRs of 14, 5,
Yeah.
and 24.
I
where he was
remember.
just despicably bad.
I remember having, believe it or not, like Bostic on the show years ago.
Right.
And those old guys would always say, other team knew exactly what we were running. We would tell them.
Right.
We would say, we're running it up the gut. We're coming right at you, 97, whatever. And they just did it.
Yep.
This week against the Patriots, we can be predictable. We're going to do all the stuff we did this week. And they just
Quick passing.
Yeah, and just force them to stop us. And then, it's not every play is that way, but then it sets up the bigger
Yeah.
shots.
I mean, Tua just carved up that defense this past weekend.
Now, he does have
carved
time.
them up.
No. I mean,
He's got Waddle
he
and
did
Hill.
throw one over the top to Tyreek Hill, who
Understood.
can't be stopped.
He's got a ridiculous receiving
Okay,
core.
but
you know what?
McLaurin and Dotson should be able to
It's a
get
pretty
deep
good
on.
tandem. It's a pretty good pairing there.
Yeah, we're throw it over the middle like they were yesterday.
How surprised were you at McLaurin's drop there?
Which
Well, the
one?
ball was not great. The
It
ball
wasn't a great
the ball was
ball,
by a
but
shoelace.
there was two
I'm
of them.
surprised on both. It was.
There was
I
two
think
drops.
he should catch that.
I think he should catch both.
Yeah.
One of them hit him in the helmet.
Guys drop balls all
That
the time,
one
though.
you have to
were talking
catch.
about
And the other one, Jason, I'm sorry. They weren't great throws, but not every throw's great.
Yeah.
You got to catch the ball.
I'm always
especially
stunned
with
when
McLaurin.
receivers drop.
70-30
You expect
McLaurin.
When
McLaurin to
receivers
catch
drop
that.
balls that hit them in the hands,
Unless
low,
they're-
high,
unless
whatever.
they're laid
There was
out.
one in the game last night. Bagent, who maybe I didn't even see his final stats, or Bagent, whatever.
They weren't great.
So
Spoiler
they're down
alert.
17-0. They need to score. He throws a deep ball.
Oh, I did see
Perfect.
this.
Now the guy did stumble.
Yeah.
All right. So the receivers. He's got probably about 5 yards separation in the end zone. He stumbles. Like, he's like,
Velus
oh my God.
Jones.
He's like, oh my God, I'm about to catch a touchdown.
Yeah.
So he stumbles. He falls on his back, but the ball hit him in the stomach, and he didn't hold on.
He fumbled it
Literally
away.
in the stomach, EB. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how is it? I mean, I know why.
But
He's
if he
super
didn't-
fast.
if he hadn't stumbled, he would have been. He would have caught the ball right on his fingertips.
Yeah.
But he fell down like on the 2-yard line, and then you're trying to contort your body and catch the ball at the same time, and you don't want to live with the embarrassment and shame of dropping the ball, which he lives with all of now. Well done.
But yeah, I don't think that was McLaurin's best game. Now he had a touchdown earlier in the game.
No, McLaurin is
He
a
only had
stud.
3 catches.
I love the guy.
He had 3 catches.
I want him to marry my daughters. Both of them. He can wear both of them. Be some sort of weird polyamory
They can have a
thing.
throuple.
Yeah, I could care less.
But hey, Dotson showed up. So
Dotson,
we kind of learned.
Dotson is who I thought. They just got to use him more.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, utilize him. Utilize the weapons on your offense.
He had
Well,
the
now,
weird
what's
play,
Samuels?
which they called
Samuel
a drop.
banged up toe.
That's
why Crowder was
That's
playing.
not good.
Right.
Toe. I don't think a toe is going to heal in a week.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It's
But
not like
Especially
your
not Curtis
tongue. Your
Samuel.
tongue heals overnight.
You know how ESPN does the probability chart, right? Whatever the hell they call it, that you're
Yeah.
always
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
never understand, whatever it is,
I never
calculator.
understand how they get up.
And so like tonight, I think the Lions are 75% or something like that.
they better win.
What is the right now? Your gut, your EB probability tracker
It's
on
50-50
winning
probably with you.
against?
I think it's higher, but you probably think it's 50.
Should be
I would
higher.
say 52-48 because I do expect a dud.
52%.
We don't play consistently.
Ask me mine.
If we play like this offensively, we're gonna win.
John Martin Auville, what is
My
your probability
FPI,
tracker?
75% Pats.
Wow.
Yeah. Early single.
I'm going to say 65-35 Manders.
Did they put this up early? You know what it is? It's up here, the matchup predictor.
I'm going to say 65% Manders.
Hicks is saying 75% Pats,
Yep.
and they have 2 wins.
There's no way the Patriots are favored.
Yes, they are,
Why would you
56.1%.
favor the Commanders?
That's
Because,
Why
according,
on earth would they-
because they've got 2 wins and they suck.
according
They
to
have the- you know what? They have
ESPN
the world's worst
Analytics.
defense.
Who was that?
ESPN Analytics.
All right,
That's
well, I
what-
just disagree with the analytics.
I'll bet on terrible Mac Jones. I don't care. He's facing the Commanders' defense. Everybody looks like freaking Joe Montana against
Are you?
them.
Tyrod Taylor didn't.
Can I book the bet?
Sure. why
Desmond
not?
Ritter didn't.
I'll
Straight
bet
up?
you $1 trillion.
Okay.